traversed the tombs of Naxxramas. We've climbed every cliff on Black Rock. Now the world cries out for heroes. As a new evil rises, there will be danger. There will be doom. There will be ancient temples filled with relics, treasures, and traps. Who will answer the call?
Explorers lead, and we are in need of explorers. Adventure we seek, cross land and sea. Won't you come and join us?
Yes!
Welcome back everyone to the StarLadder High League. I am Raven and joining me on the cast is Savitz. We just saw Strifeco lose to Hoy. Hoy took it 3-2, really close set, but unfortunately Strifeco's mage, again as you said yesterday, maybe just struggled just a little bit there.
Yeah, well, he's not out of it just yet. Strifeco will be playing against Thais NL later on today. But the next match we're going to have it will be ShtanUdachi going up against Amaz. ShtanUdachi currently 0-2, Amaz 2-0.
Yeah,
what do you
pretty
think of
big.
these players?
Yeah, pretty big. So Amaz, I mean, probably you've not seen him in too many tournaments recently, but you know he does have some wins under his belt from earlier in the year, and obviously the head of Archon at the moment. And StarUdachi, again, like you said, 0-2 down. He had his match unfortunately a little bit interrupted by the servers earlier on versus Thais, but he was playing pretty well, and I'm looking forward to see what he can do with his rogue, because we didn't quite get to see his rogue do too much as the match was a little bit stalled, but. Both players kind of, Amaz will just want to make his lead even bigger, being 2-0. And
Yeah.
StarUdachi kind of just needs to win this match, right?
Yeah, yesterday Amaz just completely crushed both of his opponents, and today he's going to try to keep going on that path. We'll see if he can do it over ShtanUdachi.
Yeah, StarUdachi has everything to play for. I think he needs to win this game with a chance to actually go through to the next round. So, kind of an important one, but if Amaz is on fire, then we'll see if he's got what it takes to actually win. I mean, Amaz actually 6-0'd within those games as well, so he didn't just 2-0 like the series. He actually 3-0'd each person. He 3-0'd Thais, and he 3-0'd Strifeco as well, which we just saw lose to Hoy. So, doing pretty well. Maybe a bit of a surprise that Amaz is doing so well, purely because we haven't seen him play competitively too much, but it's definitely a good showing. It's always nice to see to see these guys perform really well when it's maybe a little bit less expected.
Yeah, I think it's the first match where we have a player who has potential to secure his spot in advancing in Amaz. If he manages to win here, he would be up to 3 wins, and on the other side, ShtanUdachi, if he loses, he will be 0-3, and I don't think there's any hope for him to then move on in the tournament anymore. Even though he does have a match to play afterwards against Thais still.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is as well, his match afterwards is still important, because even if he loses now, his match can actually affect Thais and how he scores. So it's still important, and we are going to see all of the matches played. We'll go back to StarUdachi and Thais later on in the evening. But for now, it is Amaz and StarUdachi coming up. So Amaz was doing well with his Hunter, right? You said?
Yeah, he had a hybrid Hunter and Tempo Mage and Malgus Warlock. So really interesting lineup, and the Hunter was so convincing. I want to see if he can keep up with that kind of results. The games that he won, both of the games were so one-sided. It was kind of incredible to see, actually.
Yeah, and looking at the lineups, actually, I wouldn't be too surprised if he starts with his Hunter, because his Hunter should perform well versus all of the decks that StarUdachi has.
Yeah. I mean, some mind games might start coming in, because Amaz did start both of his matches yesterday with his Hunter, and he is going to do it again here. I wonder if ShtanUdachi picked up on that and was predicting the Hunter.
Yeah. Do you think so? So the Druid versus Hunter match, it's similar-ish to the Druid versus the Secret Paladin in that swipe's pretty important. He does throw it away though.
I don't think you can keep it if you don't have a Wildcard or Darnassus Aspirant just yet. I would also throw it away in that situation. While it is an important card to have, it is even more important to have a play on a turn before 4.
Yeah, and I think getting minions on the board, because there are cards like Darnassus Aspirant in Druid now, that you can get something to actually challenge the Hunter minions. But on Amaz's side, I suppose double Leper Gnome is a good start.
Wow, that's going to be a lot of early damage coming in. ShtanUdachi also with a nice hand, but He has a wild growth here instead of the aspirant. The aspirant would have been better in this situation since it would have also contested those leper gnomes.
Yeah, on the plus side, the wild growth will enable a keeper of the grove to take out one of the leper gnomes and still challenge whatever's left on the board. But with the creeper follow-up, I mean, there's the aspirant, one turn too early, which is unfortunate for ShtanUdachi. But keeper grove's going to do some good work, challenge the board. But Amaz is in a position, I think, now where he can just keep pushing. He can almost ignore the 2-4.
Yeah, but Amaz doesn't have a really strong curve moving on from here. He only has a 1-drop and that Hunter's Mark, so the Highmane is 3 turns away, so he really wants to find something to play here. Night Chapter is pretty good, I would say.
Yeah, that's an okay draw, I think. It's pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
And he's gonna... Oh, he is going to trade and go for the juggles and miss. So he does force to trade the leper gnome, in which, if there was a swipe, that play was a little bit dangerous.
That was really a bold move, because that played right into a swipe, but StarSeries does not have it, so he's kind of good. Amaz is getting a little bit rewarded for that. But I have to say, I'm a little shocked that he actually went for that, because of if there was swipe, his entire board would have been cleared, and he has no play for the next turn.
Oh wow! I mean, Amaz now drawing into Glaive Zuka and some Weaver hero power in, and just continues to put on the pressure.
Yep, holding on to the Hunter's Mark for now. He knows that there might be a Druid of the Claw coming on later, which he also needs to get through, so the Hunter's Mark should be valuable then.
Yeah, and interesting to see the way Amaz is altering playstyle a little bit based on what's going on. So his hand is now just Highmane, right? So if it was earlier aggression, then he could just ignore the board, because he's put the Druid on so low so far. But because he knows he's got the Highmane and that's it, he's trading a little bit more to make the Highmane much more secure when it's played.
Yep. He's going to have to wait a little bit more with that Highmane. He only has 5 mana this turn, so he needs to find something to play here. Kill command is not what he was looking for. Probably just 0-power pass. That's not what you want to do on turn 5.
Yeah. Oh, an Ancient of Law heal. Do you think that's the play here? Can he afford to be riskier than that? I don't know.
I think he has to play it. It feels so bad to heal, but he is kind of low, and that weapon is still there.
Yeah, and I think a key factor as well is that the Hunter will have 4 cards on his next turn. If the Hunter was top decking, then maybe he could be a little bit more risky, but with 4 cards from a clearly aggressive or hybrid style Hunter now that the Highmane's come on the board. And ShtanUdachi just doesn't have anything too great. Oh, okay. That's better than nothing.
Definitely better than nothing.
Yeah, it's better than not drawing a card at all. But the swipe might help next turn. He's going to play the Lotheb to try and lock out kill command, in which it does quite nicely. And there's that bear trap that I heard some stories about yesterday. Heard the bear trap did some work.
Oh wow, he's going to. If he just goes face with the Highmane, the swipe will be available at 9 mana, and in that case, Amaz could. StarSeries could spell power swipe away the Lotheb and the hyenas from the Highmane. So that's actually. Wow! It does go face. So this might be a big turnaround here.
I think with the amount of damage he's already put on the Druid, though, and he's already seen one Ancient of Law heal, I think that is actually the right play, because he's getting to the point now where he can almost just hero power him down.
It's true, like, there's a lot of damage, and StarSeries down to 8, so Amaz doesn't need much more than a beast for the kill command.
Yeah, see Bear Trap and another hero power, and now SternUdachi will hopefully know that Amaz runs Bear Trap and should alter his attacks accordingly, but he draws nothing that's gonna help. So he almost, like, if he attacks, he gives his opponent lethal, and if he doesn't attack, his opponent probably still has lethal. That's definitely rough.
Yeah, that sure is. Now he knows what trap it is. Really good attack there. Knowing that if it's a freezing, he might as well attack the minion instead of the face of his opponent. Does not want to trigger that bear trap that he knows is in there. Really smart. But Amaz is one beast away from lethal.
Yeah, let's see what he draws. Oh, an Animal Companion will do it.
Yeah, no matter which one it is, it's going to give Amaz the lethal here. Kill command, hero power exactly 7, that's what SternUdachi had done. Amaz once again taking a game with his Hunter, and I have to say, again, it looked really one-sided.
Yeah, I think Amaz got pretty fortunate that SternUdachi's lineup isn't great versus Hunter at all. But the benefit to Conquest for SternUdachi is that he won't see that Hunter again now. It's true. The game. If this was last hero standing, wow, I would be very afraid if I was him.
Yeah, that's like I don't think many people are prepared for the Hunter, because the thing is that even though I've been saying that Hunter might not be that good, but a lot of people are not expecting it for the reason that it kind of feels weird in the meta, so they're not prepared for it. So Amaz is kind of catching some people off guard here with that Hunter pick.
Yeah, and when you just need to sort of just snipe one game with a deck, an aggressive Hunter can do it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we see a switch up to Rogue for ShtanUdachi, and Amaz has gone over to his Tempo Mage with pretty reasonable starting hand, I'd say.
Oh yeah, that's looking really good. I mean, just one mana burn would have been enough, but still very good. ShtanUdachi, if he finds a prep, he could go for a massive Edwin 1 cleave on even turn 2.
To be fair, there's not many answers that Tempo Mage will have to that if the Van Cleef's big enough. Not this early in the game, anyway.
Not at all, because not even Fireball would be unavailable at 3 mana. So if ShtanUdachi finds that prep...
Yeah, what do you think about this play? So he could have portaled and carried on with 1 Mana Worm, or he chose to set the 2nd Mana Worm up, and then you would imagine he might see the Flamewaker next turn to hold off on the big portal to be super greedy, or whether he plays portal now just to get the instant advantage.
It's an interesting decision, definitely. I'm not sure. I would probably lean towards the Unstable Portal just for the mana efficiency. But this might work out. We'll see. Here, Deadly Poison. Oh my goodness.
To this.
Probably. He could even Flurry, but Flurry might be more valuable later on. So just an Avis and weapon attack clears all but 1 mana burn. That seems pretty good to me.
Yeah, I think leaving 1 Mana Worm up, especially because he's got the 2nd charge of the weapon next turn, is pretty safe. Like, he's not under massive threat. Oh, he is going to Flurry, though. He's just going to clear everything off. Okay.
Yep, does clear everything. So if there was some spells coming in on turn 4, that mana would sure like just some damage.
I mean, I was just going to say as he drew it, Frostbolt would be a problem because it would lock out the weapon, but ShtanUdachi is just going to do rogue things.
Yeah, might be an 8/8 1 clip. What pops out? Oh, but it's a 3 toughness minion. If it was 2 toughness minion, it would have been an easy backstab. But
yeah,
now you probably don't want to backstab it since it would survive.
It's still not too terrible to get the 6/6 on the board though, and he still has so many options. He can Drake if he feels safe next turn, or he can just remove pretty much anything he wants with the rest of his cards.
Yeah.
Portal's going to go into... Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Not fantastic. Not fantastic.
Yeah, that's immune to backstab, but it's going to take that 1 damage immediately, so I guess it's not the worst thing ever, but it's not what he was looking for either.
Well, it can't be backstabbed. That's the thing you take from this as Amaz.
Yeah, I mean, you can Earthen Ring Farce here and then backstab.
Oh my god. Savitz with the ultimate plays just to get that backstab used.
Yeah, unfortunately, he didn't have the Farce here yet, so... really solid, going for the Drake, gets that backstab for 3, finally dealing with that Sun Fury Protector, so he couldn't backstab on the previous turn.
What do you Fireball? Oh, you can just clear the board. Do you like clearing the board here? It opens you up to boom next turn?
Yeah, probably has to do it. Trying to see if there's maybe a play where he just fireballs the Drake, pings the Van Cleef, but then there could be a Fan of Knives. I kind of like the full clear, just because also the Dr. Boom in his hand, so it sets up nicely for their boom.
Yeah, I mean, if this was coming up to turn 6 and not turn 7 without, with a boom, then fair enough. I think just clearing the board and saying to the Rogue, you have to do something pretty decent now, or my Dr. Boom should, help carry this. And he even has duplicate, so probably going to duplicate boom bots, which isn't normally fantastic, but a couple of extra damage is nice.
Yep.
Snap boom,
yeah.
Didn't even care what he drew. Like, it's turn 7 on a relatively clean board. Why not?
Yeah, no real decision there. And StarSeries with a potential full clear, he would have to face tank the 7 from that. But the Deadly Poison Eviscerate is 7 damage that would deal with the boom. Fan of Knives allows him to deal with the boom bots as well. Sequencing is important because he probably wants to get the boom bot hits on the freshly spawned 1/1s. So yeah. maybe poison Nevis first.
Yeah, I like that. I think you poison that because there'll be 2 1/1s with the because the Fan of Knives will proc the 1/1 before it kills the boom bots, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives you as good options as you're going to get to just soak the damage on those minions. But he's looking at low.
Oh, looking at low tap. I'm interested to see what he's going to play with the low tap if he just go with that. It seems risky because the boom bots are kind of like painful. They could kill that, so.
Yeah, I think that because the mage has 2 cards and tempo mage doesn't normally do well on low card amount, then I think it's just too good not to do this play, and he is going for it. Where are the bots going to hit? Looks like the Bart Teacher's alive. Oh, wow.
Yep.
The 1 damage going on the Teacher and the 4 damage going on the 1-1 was massive there.
Yeah, that was huge. Oh, he wanted to save his life, though.
Oh.
Feeling confident going into the late game. That's an interesting decision, because he also did have that Farseer, so the Farseer would have allowed him to heal from 16 back to 19, so that's I don't know what exactly to call it, but I might have chosen a different path, but he values his life total highly here, and it does make it more difficult for his opponent to kill him.
Yeah, the Amaz getting the Arcane Intellect was actually pretty nice there, so we could just cycle through a little bit and still play something on the board. We do see the low step drop down now, heal back up, feeling pretty safe at 26. And he kills the Scientist. You'd imagine it's going to be Mirror Entity. Maybe, but you know, this is also playing Duplicate this deck, so we'll have to see.
Yeah. I think there might have been 1 Mirror Entity and 1 Duplicate in Amaz's list.
Okay.
And here we go.
Oh, this is pretty okay. I suppose he has to fan, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Fan SI? Yeah, maybe it's just a little bit awkward. None of the maths particularly adds up very well.
I'm trying to think. Maybe there was a counter spell in Amaz's list, actually. Oh, there was a counter spell. Now I'm remembering from yesterday, so it's likely to be a counter spell. So the Fan of Nice would not work, but it still triggers the effect from the SI, even if it's counter.
Oh.
It is not a counter spell.
Oh, this is nice though. The Blade Flurry draw is pretty big. It can clear the board now.
Ooh, well, that's a good minion for Amaz, getting that extra card draw.
And the Blade Flurry clearing the 3/3 from the Mirror Entity. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, that's the extra card draw didn't really help all that much, but it was still nicer to get than something like a 2/3 that would have just died for nothing to the flurry.
Yeah. Here we go with the Theroconjurer. Oh. I guess that's Flame Strike.
So powerful, but he's also low on HP right now. He's looking at 11 damage, 12 in combination with the weapon, and
I think the worry
forced to take the barrier.
I think the worry is with the barrier, it only delays and doesn't actually provide an answer to the board, which is pretty scary at the moment. Whereas can he? I suppose we have to see if he can afford to take the damage from next turn. It's definitely risky and a hard decision.
Yeah, it's definitely a close call. We can see that there's also an oil in StarSeries' hand, so if Amaz chooses not to pick the barrier, he would probably lose the game right here to the oil, but he does go with the barrier, so the game is going to go for a little while longer, unless StarSeries picks up. Well, that's probably not good enough. I'm sure there was some throws.
He can still proc the oil, which is nice.
That is true.
Should just about squeeze it in with the 10 mana there.
Yeah.
Now, is the oil going on the shredder? This is the question we all want to know.
Of course it is.
You're about as optimistic as me when it comes to this game, Savitz. I like it.
Every time.
If something can go wrong, it will. Okay, so ShtanUdachi is now thinking what we just thought. Do I want to risk it? But the problem is there going to be a better turn to oil? Probably not now.
No, you can't play.
Oh, it went on the shredder. Yes.
Why am I not surprised?
Hearthstone things, guys. Hearthstone. Oh my god. Okay. I mean, still, I suppose it's like it gives more targets for Amaz to try and deal with, but it's still funny. Let's be honest.
Yeah. All right, Deathwing. Come on, Portal.
Flamewaker goes down.
Let's see what it gets.
Oh, I love all the random effects in this match. It's so good. Ooh. He gets a road card, one that isn't too great. Oh!
But
does he have?
Might be actually good.
So he has to cast Duplicate, right?
Yeah, he has to. So he can pick the sheep. But how do you sequence this? You probably duplicate first. Hold on. No, if you pick the sheep first, there's better chances.
It shouldn't matter, right?
I'm not sure if it matters. I'm just thinking because you could have hit the SI agent twice, and then there's kind of like some stuff wasted, I suppose. But All right, well, that's cheap.
Now, top
Good
deck
saving.
wars, but Amaz does have duplicate down, and is the other one mirror entity? Do you have two? He has two secrets, right?
There's a duplicate and
Must be. Is it mirror? No.
I think it might be counterspell. He got it from the scientist, and he had a counterspell. Yeah, it has to be counterspell.
Okay.
He got it from the scientist.
Oh
So-
yeah. So yeah, we saw the Fan of Knives pre-scientist, didn't we? Okay.
Yeah.
So Fireball face. Okay.
Smork. Not exactly the missiles he was hoping. He was hoping to hit both on those minions, so he could go face with this guys. But
Oh, prep's like one of the few cards that won't be enough, but oil definitely will.
oil is going to
Yeah.
with prep for the counterspell.
Yeah. Wow. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That game could. If I went one more turn, that actually could have changed. But hey ho. ShtanUdachi does take the win versus Amaz and evens it up 1-1. So there's that one win with his rogue, which is a class we don't see a lot of players take. Actually, it's definitely fallen off in popularity, but I know a lot of players still do like it.
Yeah. Wow. That rogue finally working for ShtanUdachi. It's such a powerful deck. We saw Mr. Yakut, I believe, faced rank 1 legend on the November season on the European ladder with an oil rogue list, so definitely viable in the right hands.
Yeah. So this is going to be the Warlock versus the Tempo Mage. And this looks like dragons, which means Malygos.
Yep, it is indeed Malygos. We saw it yesterday. He was running some interesting deck cards in there. For example, he had double abusive sergeants, so in combination with the Big Game Hunter, he might be able to buff and then Big Game Hunt some of his opponent's 5-attack minions.
Yeah, and something we discovered, or not so much discovered, but sort of enjoyed at DreamHack was the Abusive Sergeant with Bran. To pretty much BGH any target you want on the board. Why not?
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Haven't done that so many times, but it does work like that.
It still feels good, right?
Yeah, it sure does.
Okay, so Power Overwhelming, Corruption, and Mortal Coil. I don't know about you and how much you've used Peddler, but I feel like I see Corruption more than any other card. Honestly, I see it all the time.
Corruption is not a bad card to get if you get it on the turn 2 Peddler. There's quite often there is something to corrupt. So I kind of like the pick here. If the game has gone a little while longer, the Corruption is hard to use because the minion that you cast it on is just gonna trade with something that you have on the board.
Yeah.
Which is very difficult to cast the Corruption and not have any minions on the board.
So
3 mana.
a bit of a tough choice here, actually.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for the Coil to draw, which I think is pretty reasonable.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting that extra card to a
No.
Dark Bomb. Well, seems good, I think.
Yep, and if he forces, which he probably will force a ping out from Amaz, that's ping turn 3 isn't good for the mage as it slows him down. Does he just ignore this 2-1? Because again, on the flip side, he has the Apprentice, which dies to the 2-1. He has Unstable Portal. And he's just going for Shredder. I like this.
Oh, man.
Ping would just felt terrible.
This is an interesting turn from StarSeries, because StarSeries knows that Amaz runs Duplicate, Mirror Entity, and Counterspell. And that secret that's on the board is completely random. It came from the scientist. It could be any of those 3.
Yeah. Does he play Corruption? I think Corruption might be okay, because the Shredder doesn't currently die to anything it trades with on board anyway.
Yeah, getting extra card is kind of fine as well, I suppose. It could have been a counter spell, in which case you might as well corrupt later too. The Corruptor, Blackwing Corruptor in his hand is an easy answer to the Shredder, so maybe the Corruption was slightly unnecessary there.
Okay, so the ping goes down on the rest of the Peddler, the Shredder clears up, and yeah, we probably got, does he give him a 5-4?
Oh man, if that's a duplicate with the Mech Warper on the board. Oh! That's some cheap Shredders right there.
Wow. Wow.
He'll still be able to play only 1, unfortunately, because he has 5 mana and not 6.
He can still only play one of his 3 mana shredders this turn. What?
Yeah.
Such a shame.
But that does let him play that. Oh, he's holding on to the apprentice. So playing around AoE a tiny bit there, doesn't want to have too many of his minions die to something like a Hellfire.
Yeah, and I think ShtanUdachi is currently wondering where the rest of his dragons are, as that Twilight Guardian is sat in his hand since the opening turn of the game, I believe, and it's still not had the chance to actually proc his ability and give itself taunt and +1 attack, which is pretty big when there's minions like this on the board. You know, it would instantly soak up the 2/3 and the Shredder actually.
Absolutely, but he does have some strong plays here still. Getting that double Bran effect and double Void Walkers from that. Well, the Void Walker doesn't have all that amazing stats. It's just tiny minion. It is a taunt, which is going to make trading a little bit more difficult for Amaz.
Yeah, for 1 mana, it's actually a really good speed bump because it's on 3 health, which isn't normally too easy to deal with. Or it's at a health where you don't really want to use a spell to deal with it.
Hey, that's the abusive, so...
Okay.
He could big game on this
BGH the Shredder, please. Please, ShtanUdachi. It's what we all want to see.
BGH Shredder. How often do you see that?
Not often enough.
Wow. He's going for the tap and... finally got the dragon. Yeah.
This is actually nice. The Drake does a lot of work here.
Absolutely. No fireball for Amaz right now. And wow, that Bran Bronzebeard protected behind 2 taunts now.
And this is
so
the position,
much value.
Yeah, this is the position you want Bran on the board in. You don't want to drop him turn 3 and hope he survives. You don't want to leave him on the board on his own. You definitely want multiple minions to try and create as many targets as possible so people leave Bran up. And then you get funny situations like the BGH Hunter stuff.
Absolutely. So that's get double big game out there, Dr. Boom. It does only kill it once, even with the battle. Oh, another Battlecry minion. So that Twilight Drake right now, how big is it?
Big. It's my answer. I try not to do maths on stream, even relatively simple maths.
It's like
13? Nice.
Oh my goodness. And Amaz does not play any silence or polymorph effects.
But the Dr. Boom's gonna get killed twice, Sabit. He's gonna die twice. When I first read Bran, I'll hold my hands up. I thought you could choose separate targets, which would have made the card insane. What just got demolished there?
It was the big game.
Oh, the BJ.
So,
okay.
Yeah, Boombot getting a revenge kill on the BJs there.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
And this.
It is kind of bad, but.
It could have hit the 4th 13, and he still would have had no problem with it, like even coming close to dying.
That's true. That Twilight Drake right now has more health than a Deathwing would.
And that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that says a lot.
And it isn't in a priest deck, so that's very impressive. Okay, so this is a little bit awkward. There's just that 4/13 may as well be ignored by Amaz because he cannot kill it. Even
it's too much resources gone if you try to double fireball it or something. He only has 1 anyway, but even if he had 2, there's no way he can spend that much on it.
And the problem as well is now, like, if he can ping the Voidwalker, but he kind of still needs to deal with Bran because this card is proving so many problems.
Yeah.
It's insane. And now, like, not that he probably will, but like double it, like Healbot effect is massive.
Double Healbot, double abusive. This is so amazing right now.
Oh, I suppose double Healbot's okay now actually because he tapped. I'll just casually go to 30. He can just he's trying to abusive Sergeant his face. You cannot do that.
Oh
no, is Bran gonna go? No.
Well, I think it's safe to say that the Bran already kind of like did its job. There was quite a bit of value from it.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
That is the best Bran Bronzebeard that I've ever seen in competitive play. That was so strong. He got so many Battlecry effects with it.
Yeah, and here's the spells choice. Ooh.
Well, there's some interesting decisions here.
So, Frostball always looks nice. Ice Lance is probably... He does have Archmage and Tinnitus, but Forgotten Torch... They're all interesting choices, actually.
Well, I guess the Ice Lance is not that good. The Forgotten Torch would add that Roaring Torch to his deck, but he probably has to take the Frostbolt here for a little bit more tempo to be able to do something more on this turn after the Frostbolt with his 2 remaining mana, whether it be an Unstable Portal or just a ping.
Yeah, I kind of like, yeah, it's a tough one. I kind of like the Portal just to get another minion on the board, but the ping just makes everything a bit cleaner.
It's true, and with a Mortal Coil, that 2-1 would have traded for the Conjurer. And here, ShtanUdachi starting with a life that finds a Dark Bomb. That's an easy way to deal with the Conjurer if he wants to keep going face with his Twilight Drake.
Oh, Tempo BGH. That's his second BGH, right?
It is, yeah. So he's playing double big game, double abusive.
That's what we want to see. And Bran.
And Bran, yeah.
And the problem here is, how does Amaz? Does he have to just get a Polymorph or something to deal with this for 13?
I think so, yeah.
Dragon's Breath, Arcane Blast, and Echo.
Arcane Blast is not bad for that big game.
It's okay, just Echo, and then play like Echo the Arcanist again to try and get something.
The Echo is a little bit slow in this situation. Amaz really needs to play this fast and try to find... And with that Sorcerer's Apprentice, he is going to be able to cast quite a few spells, including that 0-mana Arcane Blast on the big game.
Yeah. I kind of maybe like squeezing in the counter spell, actually. Because you're at the point, because you built up the board, and you can kill the BGH, where your minions are... You know, you're doing okay on board, but you kind of want to keep it that way, so it would block out any AoE effects.
Yeah, that's it's definitely an okay play. We know that there's a corruption in ShtanUdachi's hand, so that's going to be an easy way to deal with that counterspell. But from Amaz's point of view, it definitely makes a lot of sense to get that played right now.
Yeah. And now Hellfire into Twilight Guardian would be pretty.
Seems good.
Yeah. He could even go into Twilight Drake with the board empty.
Yeah.
I suppose it doesn't proc the his Guardian will lose the ability though, so maybe he's just not planning on that.
Yeah, I like
or he could just draw another dragon. That's fine.
Yeah, that also works. There's a lot of dragons in there.
And this Archmage Antonidas sitting in Amaz's hand for so long. So long.
It's not finding a good time to play it. It's so slow. You kind of have to be a little bit ahead on the board in order to be able to play the Archmage.
Yeah.
Oh, Flamewaker knows the place and it's space.
But another heal bot, and this is the sheer power of this Warlock deck. Because not just because of Bran, but because of the amount of heal and sustain AoE you have, you can just tap and tap and tap, and it just doesn't really matter. And now Thorison's available, so if he can just draw into maybe a burn spell or even Malygos just to make that impact. Although we have seen a Dark Bomb, I think, already, so I think the win condition here is probably not going to be the Malygos burst and just the Twilight Drake that just will never die.
Yep, Amaz needs to take out the Azure Drake right here with the Flamemaker, or that is going to do it. 11 power on the board, Amaz at 11 health. No Soulfires, no Malygos needed for ShtanUdachi, and takes 2-1 lead over Amaz.
Yeah, are we going to see Amaz actually drop his first set of the tournament so far?
He is down, but he's not out. He has 2 decks remaining against the ShtanUdachi's Druid. He needs to win with both of those decks. And it might be a difficult task, but the mage, at least I think the matchup against Druid is kind of good.
Yeah, the mage should line up pretty well. What Warlock is Amaz playing again?
It was a Malygos Warlock.
Oh.
So he's also playing Malygos. It was a tiny bit different list than the one that ShtanUdachi has. Amaz was playing Imp and I believe just maybe just one abusive sergeant or no abusive sergeant, but it was a tiny bit different at least.
Okay. So it is going to be the Temple Mage versus the Druid. StarDashi's hand seems okay. Doesn't have the early ramp, but has the Wrath to deal with some of the early threats from the Mage, just to slow the game down a little bit.
Yeah, but I wouldn't hate seeing the Innervate Keeper here. It's also quite effective on that Sorcerer's Apprentice right now. I wouldn't blame him for holding on to the Innervate coin to try get maybe Dr. Boom or Ancient of Lore out a little bit earlier. And he does have that Wrath, so the Wrath kind of allows him to to keep those if he wants to keep them.
Yeah, if you didn't have the
they're-
Wrath, it would be much more straightforward, and you'd almost be
Absolutely.
forced to play Keeper of the Grove. But
Absolutely.
I agree. Like, I think because this matchup isn't favored for you, if you have a bit of a trick to get really far ahead, I think you try and take it. Especially when the turn for Amaz was in this match wasn't like the previous match where he played like double Mana Worm into whatever the hell he played turn 2. Oh no, he played the second one turn 2 and then Flame Waker. Because he's not overrun the board early, I think you can afford to just hold off.
Ooh,
That'll work.
But it's so risky. What if there's arcane missiles? Even something like Unstable Portal and any spell.
Oh, the perfect draw of Arcane Intellect.
Well, not the perfect. I think oh my goodness! He hits both of the missiles. So he used the Arcane Intellect to take out the Shade, but ShtanUdachi, he knew the risks. He knew that might happen. He took a bit of a gamble there, and it did not work out this time.
Yeah, if it did work out, though, we would be doing very well. We do see the Flame Cannon, but do you just smash Boom here?
No, I think you maybe smash the... Oh, yeah, boom. I was thinking of the Emperor, but yeah, boom, absolutely. You have to make something happen. Just go in there with the boom, hope for the best. Maybe the boom bots will clear the board.
Yeah. And he does have, at the moment, although not perfect, he does have the follow-up of Keeper of the Grove to maybe, like, clean up the Flame Waker if required. Fireball should do so, and he has Arcane Blast as well to guarantee it. Oh my god, his Flame Waker is a god. He just sniped 2 of the minions, completely dodged the Boombot, and now there's just 1 Boombot left. Is that worth an Arcane Blast, do you think?
It's a close call. Probably not.
Okay.
But I wouldn't blame him for playing it there, just to get a little bit extra in.
We're going to see Charge to take out the 2-4? It looks like it.
Yep.
Now he almost needs the Boombot to kill the Mana Worm.
I believe
to stabilize.
just from the missiles that we've seen in the past, I think RNG just wants to see a game 5, so this is probably going to phase.
No, ooh, 4. 4. That Mana Worm got absolutely obliterated. The Ethereal Conjurer is going to get dropped for... Wow.
Ooh.
Oh man, I just want to see Pyroblast.
Yeah, me too.
I want to see someone get KO'd with Pyroblast, and Amaz takes it. Thank you, Amaz.
Actually took it.
Thank you, Amaz. No one expects the Pyroblast.
Yeah. And then we saw that keeping that Arcane Blast really paid off. It gave him a nice tempo there.
And this is although everyone, and again, we briefly spoke about the Conjurer, so it's about the 6-3 stats being negative. Sometimes your opponent can't actually deal with it, and when they don't, it trades up really well.
It sure does.
Like, it can just auto-kill the Emperor if that's how Amaz wants to play it, but, you know, the much better option is the easy Flame Cannon ping.
That's also pretty good, and that allows him to kind of use the video as a fireball to face, I suppose. It's the same 6 damage, so that's like the Flame Cannon is probably too good to pass up. So yeah, we are going to see it here.
Yeah, it's such an easy kill. Unfortunately for Amaz, he can't quite squeeze out the Arcane Intellect, but I think he'll be pretty happy doing 6 to the face and putting just 1 more threat on the board for the Druid to try and deal with.
Oh, absolutely. And StarSeries might be forced to combo here just to clear those minions. If he doesn't Force of Nature right now, he has to take another 6 from the Conjurer. Yeah, there's no way to clear that Conjurer without taking the 6 if he doesn't Force.
Yeah. This is definitely rough. And with the Pyroblast in hand, this changes everything.
Yep. StarSeries won't know what hit him.
Yeah.
You don't often see that card, and even less you see it like being a good choice. But in this situation, it was completely fine to pick so much damage. Has more reach to end the game, even if his board gets cleared.
Yeah, and again we see StarSeries play the Ancient of Law to draw, but it's sort of just offering the minion again to the 6-3 on Amaz's side, so still kind of feels a little bit rough.
Yep.
Where are the missiles going to go?
Wants 1 more on the lore, and he gets 1 more damage on that. So
Amaz doesn't even deal with RNG. He controls everything. And there's just a casual 10 damage, and wow, is all I can say about this game.
Yeah, And no real decision here. He's absolutely forced to use the combo here. Using a 3-mana roar. Oh, that's good, but I don't know. We'll see how it works out. Who is piloting the Shredder?
Oh shit! Yeah. Oh wow. As it. Again, Amaz has no RNG issues. So we all just want him, even if he draws lethal, to just pass. Because next turn he can just Pyroblast. No! No! Amaz, don't do it! Pass! Oh. Okay.
That's amazing.
I know, yeah, I'm waiting. So we are playing on a delay here, but the Skamaz will fill the Twitch chat. I have Twitch chat open, and I'll be timing 10 minutes from now, and because this is something I definitely want to see and witness. But it is all even now. It's 2-2 between Amaz and ShtanUdachi. He has his Druid versus Amaz's Malilok, which we haven't seen quite yet.
Yep, and
And Savitz is still recovering from the RNG fest.
What? How do you get a knocking column? I'm a little bit sad, like you are, that we didn't get to see the Pyroblast, but that was still pretty cool.
Yeah, the fact that he picked it was enough for us, right?
Yeah. And here we go with the final game of this series. It's the deciding one, Game 5 between Amaz and ShtanUdachi. Let's see if Amaz can complete the comeback here with his Malikas Walk, or is it going to be ShtanUdachi wrapping it up with his Druid finally?
Yeah, both these decks are very interesting in the fact that when in this matchup, they're both decks that can burst from a relatively high health pool. So what's good for Amaz so far in his hand is that he never needs to worry about proccing a dragon now. It's one of the few times where still Malygos isn't fantastic to have in hand, but at least you know it's there. So you have it in hand if he draws into Thaurissan later on, then he's reducing Malygos, which is huge. And any dragons, as we've just seen the Guardian get dropped, are going to have their buffed effects. This is going to be nice. The Shade is down for ShtanUdachi, and he has some nice follow-up. The Keeper of the Grove hurts because he can, say, pick off the 2-1 if he wants to, or he looks like he's going to aim to silence the Guardian, but neither of them really feel great.
Yeah, he has to play one of the keepers. He had nothing else to do. And about the Malygos, I wanted to just point it out that against the Druid, sometimes you can just drop it as a 4/12 minion, and you don't have to go for the spells on the same turn, because Druid really struggles with removing it. So because there's no execute, there's nothing like that in the Druid deck. Mulch is not in the meta, so just the body.
Even at worst, if it gets silenced, well, it's still a 4/12, right? You know, it's still going to do some work. See the Joust? Amaz loses, but you were right. He is playing the in-gang boss, so see if we can actually draw into that a little bit later.
Yep.
Oh, and another rough turn.
So he was kind of looking for a swipe, but does not have it yet. Might have to use the last keeper. That feels horrible, because you know that there's Twilight Drakes also in there.
Yeah, and we saw what can happen with Twilight Drakes. If Brand's involved, at least, they can just become unkillable.
4/13.
Oh.
I've had like 490s a few times, but it always gets executed or silenced. But, now both silence is gone, so if there was a 419...
There he is. What can Bran do? So already, having the Bran healbot combo is huge in this matchup. The Druid pushes you to sort of combo-ish range. Okay, I'll just heal back up to full. What are you going to do? And the tempo BGH is... I really like this play, actually. Puts a lot of pressure on the board, and he can still trade and have something that's actually quite aggressive.
Yeah, I like it as well. With the double big camps in his hands, it's very unlikely that both of those would be put to good use. So no point in really holding on to two of those. If there was a Dr. Boom coming up on turn 7, he would still have one remaining in his hand.
Yeah.
Just the Shredder. Shredder is very sticky, and playing an Azure Drake here instead of it would have given a nice trade to Amaz with that big game.
Yeah, look at this hand from Amaz. I mean, he's just wanting to tap into Emperor right about now. This is going to be insane. If he can get an Emperor proc of this, I mean, he can just burst StarDashi down from such a high life total. It'll be insane.
Yeah, StarDashi has some options here. He can silence that Shredder, maybe Dark Bomb it afterwards. With this play, he holds on to the last Dark Peddler and can play it in combination with the Brand Bronze Beard.
Yeah, just to get. I mean, we saw how powerful getting double draws are from that card. So that's pretty nice. Innovate is also reasonable.
It gives ShtanUdachi now access to the combo whenever he wants to. So with the Innervate and the Shade...
Is actually pretty big.
Yeah, for next turn the combo would be 23 damage.
Okay, so the follow-up is going to be the massive Twilight Drake.
Yeah. Still needs to taunt it up though.
So hang on, so he can combo. So that's 14. Is that 23?
Yeah, it should be because it's 9 from the Shade and 14 from the combo, so 23 damage right now.
Yeah, this is definitely scary, and Amaz without the Thorison means like he is a little bit more limited in what he can do.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm surprised he didn't innovate Swipe. Actually, he could have killed the Bran, and he still has enough mana for combo.
But holding on to the Innervate, since he wanted to hero power that Drake, the Owl, it does let him have lethal for next turn. He can deal 25 by playing the combo, innovating hero power. That's 15 from hand with just those, and 10 from the Shade. So that would be exactly 25, even if the Sylvanas gets dealt with.
Yeah. Okay, so 4 Power Overwhelming or Clockwork Gnome. Do you just take power here? I'm trying to work out.
Yeah, I think you all with the power. You just like power on a minion and then attack with it into Sylvanas. Hope that the power overwhelmed minion is the one getting stolen. Because then you give your opponent better nothing.
Yeah.
Let's go with the boar instead. Let's see how it works out.
Confirmed. He wants Sylvanas to steal the boar.
Time is running out here.
Oh, he's going to trade the boar in. Oh, no, he's not. Mortal Coil. Oh my god, is he going to steal the boar? He has to just snap slam a card there. Oh, he steals the ball.
Needs to find an event. No, that's gonna do it. With that combo, with that Shade, and even the boar.
Yeah, the hit. Please, StarDashi, finish with the boar. The boar needs the kill shot. Please, be a god. I didn't see him queue up the boar, and I'm not impressed.
Yeah, he's gonna do it last. Oh
no! Okay, at least the boar attacked. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
We're happy. Okay, so ShtanUdachi takes a bit of a very interesting set actually overall. Thought Amaz was looking really strong there, but with the presence, I think the shade was the big card there. Not being able to actually remove the Shade was huge. And normally Malygos can actually do a lot of good AoE, and even with like say Abusive Sergeant and minion to create the like a big Shadow Flame would have been enough, but. We didn't really see any AoE in that match, I don't think, from Amaz.
Yeah, Amaz never found the Shadow Flame and also didn't find the Hellfire in time. He couldn't Hellfire the Shade, and in the end, with that Shade, he extended the damage with the combo from that 15 all the way to 25, and not much. StarDashi extended his damage, so not that much Amaz could have done there without taunts.
Yeah, and it's definitely difficult to try and play around a 25 health burst. Healbot might have done something, but you play Healbot on 25 health, and that's generally isn't great either. So I mean, StarDashi actually wins his match to stay in the tournament so far, and Amaz drops his first set. Kind of interesting that he dropped his first set versus the guy who's gone 0-2 so far. So a big win for StarDashi, and Amaz's winning streak is over for now. But yeah, that's going to be it. The next game we have coming up, I believe, is going to be Tice versus Striveco. So that's definitely going to be a good one to watch out for. But for now, we're just going to go to a break, and we'll be back soon.